am worried about the state of the local home service industry. And here's why I'm worried. I'm walking around my neighborhood and I'm seeing all these different homes that have trucks parked out front, and they're all these different local service companies. There's construction, there's flooring, there's roofing, there's HVAC, there's electrical. I've seen it all. And I've kind of made it a little project that as I'm walking around, I just take snapshots of all of these. And the thing is there is a lot of opportunity out there. The other side of the coin is there are big companies, whether it's a big local company that's really geared towards sales and pushing themselves, spending a lot on sales and marketing, or is it a national franchise or a national business that, you know, goes from location to location, and they've got their built-in processes and things that they do. But the problem with those companies is they deliver less value for more money. Like, they have to. That's the way. They've got tons of overhead. They're techs, as they're often selling techs. Like, they have to sell while they're there to service, you know, so they're upcharging you. They're convincing people they need things they don't need. And I'm worried because we've already got a shortage of people that want to go into this industry. You know, we've got, at the end of the day, the USA needs service businesses. Like, this is a patriotic instinct that I have here. We need to build more really high quality local service brands. And we got to put the service back in local service businesses that are there to serve and not just upsell, not just try to deliver as little value as they can while still, you know, justifying their pricing. And honestly, what it comes down to is businesses have to adopt a brand mentality over a business mentality. Local business owners have to stop thinking strictly about the work and think more about how to get it out there. We talked recently about the framework, know you, like you, trust you. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, because people need to be thinking about brand. They need to get the word out for their services because they're doing great work, but they're not getting enough customers, and it's hurting everybody. It's hurting them. It's hurting the people that are there to be served. So, Pete, I'm a little riled up about this.
I can tell. I can see this. It's weighing heavily on your heart, and for good reason. I wonder I wonder at what point brands, I should say businesses, hit the point where they feel the need to offer as little value as possible while retaining the best price point. Mm-hmm. And is that a natural progression, or is that a tendency that ought to be avoided? You know, and can you grow without hitting that point?
I think last week we did an episode all about scaling your business. We talked about you can go up market, you can go down market, you can go
lateral,
adjacent, you can go broader, you can go narrower. And what happens is,
or niche,
right? Narrower or niche or niche
or niche.
And so the thing that keeps, the thing that these companies are doing as they grow is they are going down market mostly. And what they're doing is they are relying on sales and marketing, and they're hiring, you know, whether it's service techs who are sales, or they've got we've all seen, you know, window companies going door to door, you know, to put new windows in your house. And even, you know, roofing companies that use tactics like insurance, insurance approved by insurance on their yard sign and stuff like that. Every roofing company can work with insurance companies, but some companies, you know, kind of frame themselves as like, we're the ones, or the storm chasers is a real thing. They'll literally go to a neighborhood and knock on doors and say, hey, there was a hailstorm in the area. Can we inspect your roof? Because, you know, you might be able to get a new roof from insurance. And then what they do is, I mean, this is inside baseball, but listeners who own local service companies know about this. What a lot of those companies do is they sub out the work. So they bring in a different company to do the work, And I actually saw this in my neighborhood as I'm walking around. There's a local company that does this exact strategy, and they had one guy on the scene from this company who was overseeing the job. Literally, this guy was standing on the sidewalk, hands on hips, watching as all of these, roofers were on the roof. It was a, you could tell it was a low wage crew by the diversity of the crew, if you will.
I hear you.
And the, which is not a problem, but the problem is, that the service that they're delivering is not even under their control completely.
Correct. Yeah. There's that. What you're highlighting is the gap between what's being done. So you're being sold something, and then it's being passed on to someone else who's then telling their crew to go do this job. And so like, there's not that clear path to like, oh, I'm doing the job.
Yeah.
I'm the one talking to you about the opportunity to do a job, and I'm the one who's actually gonna do it. And yeah, no. I think you're spot on. That's super interesting. I wonder for service brands, when you think about all the opportunities that local service brands have to make an impact from a pure visual perspective. So you say business to brand mentality, right? So there's that shift, but part of the brand is the visual stuff. And, you have so many different touch points as a service provider to make an impact from just the visual aspect of your brand, right? So I would call that your visual identity, but you have billboards, you have the mobile billboard, which is of course your vehicle or your fleet of vehicles. You have yard signs, you have handouts, door hangers, that kind of stuff. And utilizing that space as precious. This is precious real estate, all of it, to make an impact on the people around us, which is, to your point, you're going on these walks and you're seeing a lot of different types of things, right? You're seeing yard signs and trucks and all that.
Yeah, I've made it a part of my daily routine. I'm trying to do the whole 10,000 steps things. And the best way for me to do that with a job that has me around the office a lot is I just start my day by going on a 3-mile walk around the neighborhood. And it gets me, most of the way to those 10,000 steps. And so as I'm walking around, I've been averaging, half a dozen or so yard signs or vehicles, and these are new because some of them are there every time I walk by, but there's 6 or so new, and I've taken pictures of them too, which is a little bit awkward. I try not to be seen taking the pictures. Yeah, it can be creepy.
So you're saying you average about 6 vehicles or whatever as you're coming across.
Yeah, brand new. I mean, I'm in the past week I've probably built up 25 or 30 different companies that have all been in this one neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's what's got me on this opportunity kick is like, man, there are so many people who need services. Like I think about it in terms of like, how often do I call a service tech out to my house? Maybe it's once every 3 months, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like it's not a whole lot.
But you're still seeing the high volume of
stuff. So you don't think about it.
Yeah.
I've got kind of my go-to people, but then as you're walking around, you think about, okay, I'm walking past at least 100 homes, maybe 200,
right.
And then, in some apartments and other things. And so when you think about all of those homes and how often they need service and all the different things they may need service on. So there are so many that are suffering from just like simple branding mistakes, whether it's like the sizing of the text on the vehicle is too small, and I'm like, well, nobody's going to see that unless they are right up on it.
Right.
Which, I just want them to know, like, the point of having this logo on the side of your vehicle isn't so that, which one's yours.
Right.
Exactly. It's there as an advertisement. I would hope that's their mentality. And so you need to have your company name really big. You need to have your phone number, your website, what you do, all of that needs to be on there, and it needs to be clear, not just in the words that you use, but how it's positioned on the vehicle.
Sure. Part of that is the shift to the brand mentality, though, because if you're just putting your logo on there, that would be a very business thing to do. Let's just get our logo on there. But when you start to think about from branding, you're thinking about visual impact.
Yeah.
How are you reaching people visually?
Right.
And part of that is having the logo at the right size, the phone number, all that stuff. and telling people what you do in a short amount of time.
And when we talk about know you, like you, trust you, if you just slap a logo on there, all you're doing is know you.
Yeah.
Maybe. They might not remember. They might see you in that moment. It might be in one ear out the other type of thing. You know, so we, you know you is just the first step. You have an opportunity to do that, at least get them to like.
Yeah.
You know, trust is
Definitely
obviously
can.
typically requires a little bit more due diligence or some sort of referral or testimonial or something, but you can at least get them to like something that makes them want to call you.
If you have an extraordinary vehicle wrap with character and something that's fun or just like looks really nice, you can get someone to like you before they even talk to you.
Yeah, the best vehicle I saw was a full wrap. On the side of the vehicle, they had like a family, you know, all kind of huddled together in their front yard outside of their home, and it was one of those mechanical companies. So they did HVAC, plumbing, they did a whole bunch of different things, but obviously had thought a lot about the actual brand and appearance of this vehicle, because as I was walking by, I was going, yeah, I would call that company.
Right.
I know nothing about them.
Certainly more so than the other ones. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed this Brand Nerd podcast clip, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. In the meantime, here are additional videos you might find illuminating.